Hello creation, hope you're well. I've just written this, it's called The Shallow Self. Are you prepared to become truth for once in this life you are living? I know what you do, how you mistreat other souls. It's yourself you should be forgiving. Do you think that it is okay to use all of those that you did? Do you think it fine to make a luring false promise to then lead one to your bed? Just so you can feel empowered over those lustful, lost in flesh? It's a question, isn't it? At times long since gone, I must admit that the orgasm held much clout, but shallow as the mind can be, 'tis not what life is all about. Yes, in this world of material wealth, we are here to experience all that we can, to grow in ourselves and nurture the truth and the love, to come home to the self once again. Every day, upon earth in the 3D, there are vibes that can both build and destroy. I can't accentuate enough the importance of the protection we have to deploy. Are you prepared to become truth in a world that is begging for change? Or would it be too inconvenient for you to turn a brand new page? So sad, those missed opportunities of truthful, honest love that you let slip away. To lose a love so divine was the price you had to pay. Do you even look to your future self to see what lay in store? You don't have to lose. You can change if you choose. Let the shallow self walk out of the door. I'm sorry for your disappointments. I am, really am. And for the failures that you perceived. But that's no excuse to turn to abuse of another for what you received. Please take a time for reflection. Take time to reflect on your past. There you may find trauma detection, but this was not meant to last. Feel those emotions that hurt you and release all the guilt and the shame. Some lessons in life can be hard ones, but to learn of the self is the reason you came. Aye, life's a journey, isn't it? And we can be shallow little buggers, can't we? We can. I have been in my past. Of course I have. You know, it's how do you know dual polarity if you've not experienced it? You know, where once was shallow, now I'm deep. Well, you know, it's if we chose to, we change, don't we? We evolve, we grow, we ascend, hopefully. If not, we don't, we stagnate. We'll have a mundane life. But, you know, there are those who, like I say, think it's all about the flesh. It's a distraction. Do you know that some of the main reasons, it's like it can be a habit. It can become a habit. You know, the orgasm. It could. Couldn't it? It's a distraction. Because we don't like what's going off in his mind or in the world, or you know, or we're bored, or is it, you know, we turn to something else. When we don't find that happiness within ourselves, we turn to something else, and that can be alcohol, drugs, be anything, you know. The orgasm, anything. But that's the distraction. you know. And when we don't seek to find the root cause of our unhappiness, you know, then we're not going to find a happy life, are we? We're not going to live a happy life. We're not going to amend from us whatever it is, you know, because we're not going to find it, because we're not prepared to look into it, you know. And that's difficult when you've been conditioned and all the spiritual aspect of life has been eradicated, as it has been, you know, the natural spiritual. I'm not on about the churches, I'm not on about talking about God, I'm on about the power within yourself, because you're all the creator, all of you. But when we've been conditioned into believing that we need an external force, so we need to pray to an external force because it's not part of us, you know, that's not the truth. The truth is we are creation. We are the front line of creation, and we are all God's source or universal energy or whatever you want to call it. Whatever, it makes the difference what name you give it. You know, we're not a bloody fluke. No, we're not. No, we're not. No. So, that piece of writing that's just come through has to come out for whatever reason. I can resonate with a lot of that, obviously. So some of these writings will be, I'm assuming, from my higher self, that will reflect my own experiences in this life. Others will be from whatever channels come through, you know, because they can be so diverse, some of these, you know, these channelings that come through. But whatever comes through at whichever time they're coming through, they are of relevance to someone somewhere, even if it's just me and I'm just sharing, you know. So, but that, like I say, that the shallow self, we can be quite selfish, can't we? I know I have been in my life. I'm quite selfless now, actually. Yeah. In fact, you don't think about stuff, do you? You just do it when you get to. What I'm on about is just a thought came to me then, and it was I were in a pub with a woman who I was with at the time, which I dare say some of this is as I am now. It will be relating. Some of that will be relating to her. I don't doubt that now. I can see that now. But we were in a pub, and this guy came in, and they said, "Oh, sorry, we're not serving it." He said, "Oh, I only want one drink." He said, "Just even half." I said, "No, mate." I said, "Sorry, we can't serve it." And I just got a pint. So I said, "Yeah, mate, have half of this." Yeah, well, yeah. And he said, "Ish." I said, "Aye, just go on, have a good drink of that." So he did. He drunk about half of it, half my pint, which I told him he could. And then he gave me it back, and he just said, "Do you know what?" He said, "You want it most selfless. What a selfless man." So he says, "That's one of the most selfless things I've ever." You know, and he was just like made up, but it's just how we are, isn't it? Don't cost out, does it? Well, it costs me half a pint, but anyway, that's it for now. Take care.